Okay, good afternoon. This read will be for Pisces. This is Edith, and we're going to go ahead and get started with your spread. Okay. Okay, your first card represents the Five of Pentacles. This also doubles for the Hierophant, if you notice the keys and the crown. Okay, this is also representative of the present dimension, or that you're in, or that you are trying to aspire to. Okay, this here represents, this is the Ace of Pentacles. It also doubles for the world. Okay, the spread has a lot of duality in it. The Ace of Pentacles representing how you feel about, what your mindset is, or what is also the mindset of others in regards to you going to this dimension or being in this dimension. It's the world. Okay. Pretty important then, right? Okay. Your challenge. This is your challenge, which is also dual. This is the King of Wands, who, push this a little closer, you can see has all the elements of the Magician. Okay. This character may represent you or someone else in your life. That either they're making you, that either you're feeling like this or you're feeling like this. I'm going to take it possibly just because of everything that I'm seeing right now. This may be where you are, which is under the elements. Notice that, here he's on top of the elements. He's holding the staff. Here, his hand is leaning the way that a person's hand is leaning into a cane. Someone may be treating you this way, or you may be in a relationship that is codependent where you're being really relied on rather heavily. Okay? All right. The tool to navigate this situation in this dimension, or to get into this dimension if you're not, is going to be the Six of Thought, and I'll read that in just a moment. And then homework exercise from the first deck is going to be the Queen of Wands, as well as the Major Arcana 7, which we'll read the advice on that too. Okay, so let's begin. Here you're seeing constraint, because this is the same fella. It's nice. I like these cards because it's nice and big. We get to see this is the same fella from the Four of Pentacles. Now we see him nice and big, like in high def. In the Four, we get to kind of see a little bit of what he's doing. He's holding one pentacle very tightly, very relying on that, very codependent on that, very bound to it as well. And that one that he's holding, it symbolizes the other three. And now we get to see those three, really what they look like. Now, while this looks like a crown, this crown, he's in it, which means he's constrained by it, like he is in the Four. But now we get to see it. Those three pentacles that he's holding, which three, it represents unbalance. It's not balanced power. So this power that he may have is he's bound to it. He's bound to something where the power is unbalanced. Okay. The balance that he's seeking, that he's wishing for, is he's looking for a way out. That's what the keys represent. And in the keys, the representation, the way out is a balance of power. Not where it's three, but two. It's equal. Equal power. The door being equal. This is further confirmed in the fact that his eyes are green, like this here world. A world that is constrained by opportunity, but the opportunity is costly. Okay. In interesting to note that behind him also is green. So there's a world in front of him where there's constraint that is more of his control. It's balance. It's two, just like the two keys. It's balance. But the world behind him is just one big, and it's outside of him, rather as this is in his eyes. Now here we have the green, and it's this world, but it's all controlled by opportunity and benefit, which can sometimes be a good thing, which can sometimes also be a binding thing. If, within is green, meaning the heart chakra, if this is love, that love is all bound up in the fact of opportunity or finance, okay? Or some type of benefit. And this may be an environment or a world you're creating for someone else, or that they're creating for you, that your love can't really get out because they're busy looking at the benefits that you might bring to the table, or you may be doing this to someone else. Whatever benefits you're focusing on, that you're getting out of it, you can't really love and enjoy their love or reciprocate. There's no balance here. You might be the one getting all the love, but not giving it, or vice versa. The adversity or the challenge here with that, especially if you're the one who is subservient and you're the one who's topsy-turvy, is to actually get on top of things. Get some control, because that's what keys also represent. They don't just represent expansion and doors, they represent control. Get up under some type of control. You notice that here, rather as to here leaning like a cane, here he's ruling the elements. Under here, the elements are on top of him, which means showing a sense of subject or subservitude to the elements. And that in the middle between them is truth. That there's something maybe that you need to be honest about. Okay? And that once you're honest about that, it'll put you on top of things. That right now, you're buried beneath the truth. You're buried beneath and the cup is now turned downward. So the emotions are run out. Emotions run out, the money's run out, and the truth, to face it, it's right there between you and getting on top of things, between you ruling and being codependent and leaning on someone for something of some sort. Okay? The next, this is your homework here. So this is your challenge. This is your challenge because maybe the person is someone important to you. Maybe they're someone important to you. It's hard for you to open up and be honest and say that maybe you need more, or that you need the power to be balanced. Maybe that's what it is. I'm not sure. Okay? But here's your homework. That your homework is the Queen of Wands. Okay? This is your tools. This is your tool. Okay? That the tool that's going to help you in this situation is thought. That's what will help you. Is thought. Something about your thoughts, something about the other person's thoughts. It's got to get off this island. All this greenery and everything, that's representative, indicative of an island. The boat's in the middle, and the boat is headed, this is the back of the boat. The boat is headed outward. And over here is the city. Cities are built. See, flowers, they grow up so far, and then they grow over. And that's all they do is continue to grow over and over until they become an island. But over here, buildings grow up, and they keep growing up, they keep expanding. This is about expansion. Okay, this here you get smothered in. This here is about expansion. Okay, and it's the Six of Thought. I'm going to read that in just a moment. Here you got the Queen. This is part of your homework. Queen of Wands. And this is basically confirming this, because the blue represents the mind, the mental chakra. That when you get your mind here, the mind is on top of the cat. So something may be predatory, maybe being less predatory, maybe looking less opportunistically at things, where it looks like you're ruling, but you're not ruling it, it's running you. And it's unbalanced because the power's not giving you choice, or you're not giving someone a lot of choice and free reign. And so then it's more predatory, less predatorial. Tigers represent preying on. This is a predatory creature. Tigers are very predatory. Okay. So this might be someone else's energy, it might be your own. That ultimately, and that this nature is subdued, it's subdued by the mind, by the way you think. Literally confirming this card about thoughts. Something about your thoughts is important here. It's crucial. So it's about the thoughts, okay? And that as you, and notice here, she's holding the cat. She's holding her thoughts. Here she's barely holding them. Okay, they're on top of her. She's on top of it. She's holding the thoughts. She's holding them near her heart. She has them in control like this. She's not holding on to them like the cane, the crutch, or trying to hold them down, or holding them by a thread. No, 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 no. The flowers are downward here. Well, flowers are starting to hang downward. They're about ready to die. They've come to their full potential. Here they're growing upward. This is, symbolizing development. And they're mostly covering her. The development is intended to cover you. Development and growth is intended to cover you. Higher dimension is meant to cover all this predatory nature. It's meant to scale all this back. Okay, and that's further confirmed by the 7, which is the Chariot. Same way that he's turning his back on the world to focus on the world, this little boy is doing the same thing with this little girl back here. And she's not even running. So something that you've been sticking around, it's not even mobile. It's so stagnant, it doesn't even chase you. When you turn your back on it, you're able to move. Look at him, he's smiling, he's soaring. The bike's moving. Notice the bike has 3 wheels. He's on top of the wheels. The 3, he's on top of it. And here, the 3, 1, 2, 3, they're on top of him. Something about your world, Pisces. Something about your world. Something about getting on top of things. Getting on top of a situation. Or better yet, maybe this is someone with you, and that, you might be back here and you feel left behind, but really you're not. That what they're doing is what you also need to do. The same way they're taking off and they're soaring, okay, and they're on top of the imbalance, that's what you need to do. And until you do that, you'll be stuck, standing still, watching them. This may be even a personality that you're supposed to emulate. And you're looking at them because they got the elements, and you're underneath the elements. How do I get there? You get there by changing your thoughts. You get there by stop thinking in threes. And maybe that, you need to start thinking about you. And leave this, because this is either his bondage or it's her bondage. Either one. But it needs to go. Soon as he's on top of it. Okay, so let's read what the card says. Okay, 6 of thought. Okay, because this is part of the homework, the spiritual homework, the prayer part. Okay? When you start living it out, this is what it looks like. You'll see the development. Six of Thoughts says this is the tool. It's your thoughts. It's your thoughts. It's not so much moving away from somebody. It's your thoughts that need to move. Your thoughts are stuck. Or either somebody's thoughts are stuck, and as a result, it's binding you. It's not giving you any portals or doorways. Keys are for unlocking. They're for moving from one dimension to another dimension, one expansion to another expansion, one world that's behind him to the new world that's in front of him. Okay? They're also for security. Maybe your sense of security is being threatened here. Okay? And you don't feel secure. You may look like you're ruling and reigning, but if you really were, then you would have two coins up here and two coins down here too. The two keys would look like this. That you're trying to get this to convert to this. The two, balanced power, not unbalanced. Okay, so Six of Thoughts says peaceful times are on the horizon. Look at that. Horizon. The storms have passed. And now you can see, look at that your destination is within sight. It's within sight. So something, maybe you had a vision or something like that, but it felt behind you. It felt overwhelming. It didn't even seem possible. It seemed beyond you. Now, boom, you seeing it, yo. See that your destination is within sight. The stress in your life will begin to fade away, allowing for happier times. It may be necessary to take a journey. Take a journey over water or to another country. This isn't water, this is fire. This is like another realm, another country. Look at the green that's behind him. That's his world too. By taking that journey, you see that, okay, over here, this is what I was looking like. But over here, this is how people do things. This is how people manage their finances, their emotions, their finances. This is how people manage the truth. This is how people manage their passions. And I can do it too. This is how they manage their relationships. This is how they manage their energy and their time. And I can do that too.